In this video, I'm going to find the angle between two vectors. However, it's given that A is this vector and B is this vector, and we need to first find A plus B and then A cross B, and then we need to find the angle between them. So if we add A and B, we are basically adding these two vectors and we are just gonna add them component wise along I, j and k. So we have 2i plus I is gonna give me 3i or 3i hat. 3j hat plus 2j hat is gonna give me 5j hat, and then negative k hat minus k hat is going to give me negative 2k hat. That's what we are going to get. So this is my A plus B. Now I need to find A cross B. To find A cross B, we are just going to use the definition of cross product and just do the standard matrix standard operation and come up with the A cross B. So we are going to get the determinant here. So let's expand it by using the standard process. Look, I hat, so I exclude the first row and the first column, and then 3 times negative 1, that gives me negative 3, minus negative 1 times 2, so negative and negative is going to make it positive 2. Now for j hat, you put the negative sign in front as usual, and then get rid of the first row and second column. Then you will be left with 2 times negative 1, which is negative 2, and then minus 1 times negative 1, which is negative 1. Then negative and negative is going to make it positive. And similarly for k, we have this, get rid of the first row and the third column. Then you will be left with 2 times 2, which is 4, minus 3 times 1, which is negative, which is 3. Then of course that. Now if I simplify it, I get the A cross B, which is gonna be negative I, because negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. Then negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1, but negative and negative is going to make it positive. So this is I hat, this is going to give me j hat, then plus 4 minus 3 is 1, 1k hat. So that's my A cross B. Now I found A plus B and A cross B. I need to find the angle between them, and the easiest way to find the angle between them is to take a dot product of them and then see what happens. Okay, because there is a relationship between dot product. So if you have two vectors A and B, the dot product of them is going to give you norm of A, or the magnitude of A times magnitude of B times cosine of theta, the angle between them. So we are going to take the dot product of these two, which is very straightforward, by the way. Let me write down the A plus B as well here. A plus B, which is we found to be 3i hat plus 5j hat minus 2k hat. So my dot product is going to give me A plus B dotted with A cross B is going to give me, so negative 1 times 3 is negative 3, then 1 times 5 is 5, then 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. So negative 3 plus 5 minus 2 is 5 minus 5, which is 0. So the dot product of these two vectors is 0. That right away tells us that the angle between them is 90 degrees, because remember cosine of theta is equal to 0, right? That means theta is equal to 90 degrees. Of course, our magnitudes are not 0 here, as we can see. So it must be the case cosine of theta is 0, like cosine of theta is 0, which tells me the angle between them is 90 degrees. So let me summarize it quickly what I was doing here. Basically, we just found a plus b given a and b. We found a cross b, cross product of a and b, given a and b here, and then we took the dot product of the resulting vectors of a plus b and a cross b to find the angle between them, and we found it to be 0. The dot product is 0, which tells us that cosine of theta is equal to 0, means theta is 90 degrees or pi over 2. So the angle between them is 90 degrees or pi over 2. I hope that this discussion was helpful. Thank you very much. -3.